Hey guys, it's Jenny. Alright, it's time for a greenhouse tour because I think last month we skipped it, if I remember correctly. There was nothing interesting going on, at least this is what I think. But this time I have quite a few new things to show you, not only orchid-wise, but orchid-related. So let's start, of course, with the first shelf, and here we have the two mini mark Phalaenopsis in bloom. This guy is still sick, but I hope he will recover. And this other guy is almost completely in full bloom. So yeah, he will appear in the competition, in the contest at the end of the month, because he is just so pretty. The mini mark is one of my favorite Phalaenopsis actually. The colors are just so pure, the orange is so nice, the dots on that white canvas are so nice. And of course the flowers are pretty and dainty, how I like them. Alrighty, the African violets. Well, I think I need to divide them. They grew quite a lot. Most of them at least, so I think each leaf produced 2 to 3 little tiny violets, which absolutely need to be separated and potted separately so they have more room and of course more nutrients and all of that. In the back there we have the Paphiopedilum Orchids, still recovering. They have just started to grow a little faster once again. They took a little break in the winter time. And there we go. And about the Paphiopedilums, we have two kind of very good news. First of all, the Paphiopedilum henrianum, I told you that I think he's gonna die. Nope. This little keiki here, actually it's not a keiki, this new growth is still growing. It just kind of lost a few leaves. And that growth right there, which was already on the orchid, I see it is producing a new leaf. If I can pull this back, it's a tiny new leaf sprouting there. So yeah, he's still alive, so I'll keep holding on to him. He has 2 little tiny roots the last time I checked. Not sure if things improved, but yeah. Also, on this side, the Paphiopedilum supardi, which I received last year. This is a seedling. He is really enjoying this new setup. He is growing new roots. He matured 1 leaf and is working on another one, so he's doing great. And also, the latest one, the Paphiopedilum American Hybrid, which is pretty much the easiest Paphiopedilum you can find. He's growing the fastest and he's putting out so many roots. There we go, root tips and all of those lovely things. He really enjoys this setup. Moving a little bit back to the Aranjuses, this one is growing a new flower spike, which is lovely, so let's hope it will be bigger than the other one. And behold, this is one of the twinkles from Max, and look how pretty it is. Now I keep forgetting to add information to that video. So Max told me what the orchids he sent were. About the twinkles, he said they were all kind of in the cream color. Luckily, we do have flower spikes on most of them, so we will see them bloom and see if they're the same. If they're the same, obviously I don't want to have too many of them. One of them will be sent to Anna, and the other ones, I don't know, maybe we can do a giveaway, although I am really nervous about giveaways and things of the sorts because you know my issue with Fusarium, and even though I don't mention it, I keep finding new cases. And I think next month I will start a fungicide treatment because this is getting out of hand. It's a disease that still scares me. I just prefer not to talk about it too much and yeah, be composed and try to solve it. So when I give away orchids, I don't give them with full heart because I'm not sure what I'm gonna give. Am I gonna give you a nice orchid for your collection, or am I gonna spread Fusarium in your collection? That's the pickle. Alrighty, so here we have the Silagene usitana. She's growing so nice, so well. I do see a lot of roots and root branches and all of those nice things inside the pot. Things are looking pretty bright for this orchid, and as you can see, it created the biggest pseudobulb so far. I did purchase this one as a seedling, mind you, and I think this little bump means a new growth. Hopefully it's gonna bloom that new growth because this one is quite big, quite large, considerably larger than the previous leaves, so hopefully next one will bloom. Alrighty, this is the path from Max. He did not know the ID for this path, but it completely recovered. This leaf grew, it was very tiny, and I do see another leaf inside sprouting. The leaves are stiff, they're nice, so he completely recovered after the transport. And here I have my project Twinkle with the microfiber medium. You'll see I have a few more orchids in microfiber. They're pretty much my nothing left to lose orchids. So I am experimenting with microfiber still with a few orchids that, like the name suggests, have nothing to lose. And here we have the Dimorphorchis lowi. It didn't do much, but lately I'm noticing the top leaf finally starting to grow. At least this is what I think it does. It looks a little bigger than when I received it. This guy spent 3 weeks on transport, so I was a little bit scared, but I think he took a little bit of time to adjust, and now he's starting to grow, hopefully. Don't see new roots, but yeah, I'm monitoring him. This is a pretty special orchid. Now, from the realm of the African violet, here is the first bloom, but more interesting. You know there are those African violets with variegated leaves, and one of the variegations is pink. I always wanted one, never found one. Well, one of these babies is displaying some pink leaves. I'm not sure if this is variegation or a lack of something. I don't know if it is a lack of something because it is potted in the same pot with the other ones that look healthy, look good. It might be a very recessive gene of the sorts. Maybe from all of these babies, I'll get a variegated one with pink. That would be lovely. With African violets, I have to tell you, I know them in my mom's collection for 20 years already. And every time she propagated them or even regenerated them, they kind of changed colors a little bit. And then the colors or patterns would come back in some years, then they would go away. It's pretty much a genetic lottery with these hybrids. I don't know if it's because they're very old actually, but I'm not surprised if they're gonna change appearance at some point. And this variegation on the leaf, it's not damaged or anything. The leaf is perfectly fine, it's just a little pink. So fingers crossed it's gonna be a pink variegation. This is the African violet that did almost nothing, but now she's finally growing something. Alrighty, so here I moved to the Neofinisha fulcata. I have decided to experiment with people's suggestion to actually keep this orchid in dimmer light, not in direct sunshine, and I'm keeping her under my artificial light, just to see if it's better. People say it looks better, grows better, blooms better, so we don't know. Oh, and P.S. I changed my lighting. My LED strip, which currently I'm keeping on purple, is a little broken. The power brick burned, so I need to get a power brick. That's why it's not functioning. But the new lights are 4000 Ks and they're stronger than the other lights. And as you can see, I don't have that really kind of nasty yellow hue on camera, which is nice. Down here we have the Oncidium types, the new ones that I've acquired, also the Cattleya. I did check them with my microscope. They don't appear to have any pests or anything, but I'm keeping them here because these are new as well. This is not their place, but since I do have quite a few newer, let's say, orchids, they're not very old, I just keep them here for the moment because I do want them to receive light. And if I do see an infestation, I know where it's gonna come from, and they're at least a little isolated here. And here we have the Masdevallias. Currently they're all doing pretty well. I have repotted all of them. No signs of stress so far, and we did have a heat spell. We had 38 degrees Celsius the last week. Now it's better, it's not that hot anymore, but as you can see, I do have in their vicinity a clay thingy. I found this at Ikea. It's supposed to be a type of pot, to be honest, but it doesn't have a drainage hole. Also, it had inside a smaller one. So yeah, initially it's a pot, but I'm using it as a sort of cool box or something of the sorts for the Masdevallias, and it does work. It gives out humidity and coolness around it, so it kind of does work. And here we have some more Oncidiums, the Zygopedilum, and also, okay, nothing left to lose orchid, right? This is the Dendrobium venustum. He is indeed growing a new growth right here. Contemplating if I should move him to clay medium. I'm not entirely sure. It's just one of those orchids that at this point, you know, nothing left to lose. I'm just gonna try it out. The Sampassat, which is a fragrant Phalaenopsis, is coming out in bloom right now, but all I can smell is the Leodoro. I think I kind of need to change her location if I want to smell something else around her. In the back, we have the crown rod orchid. She has a tiny flower spike on the keiki and two branches, secondary spikes, actually on the main plant. Here we have a no ID, but it's just so branchy and so nice, and a few other little phals. I don't have IDs for these ones, but they do make for quite the pretty show when you look at them from this angle. We'll talk more about them at the end of the month. And here we have a Hoya in bloom. This is the pretty Hoya Bella. We're gonna make a video on Hoyas as well pretty soon. I received some more Hoyas from my viewer Habib. I have to say not all of them survived. Some of the cuttings were a little bit too damaged on transport. I did my best. Most of them survived, Habib, don't worry, but some of them were lost. However, This is the very, very pretty Hoya Bella that has quite a few blooms at the moment and quite a few more on the way. There was one in the back there. There it is. And it smells beautiful. It smells almost exactly as a Brassavola medusa, I suppose, but it smells during daytime. I'm not entirely sure in the nighttime, maybe, but in the daytime it smells. It's just the prettiest little thing. It just happens to bloom downwards. So I needed to move it to this upper shelf to properly see it. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful. Alrighty, here we have a mixture of things. This shelf will be redone kinda in the following days. I intend to place artificial light and also an LED strip, and I do want to make this shelf a sort of a highlight area because I do have some natural sunlight, but only from the kind of middle of the shelf onward. Here I don't have much. So the artificial light combined with natural sunlight should make for a very bright area for my Cattleya orchids, because currently I have more Cattleyas than spaces to put, and I just cannot stop buying Cattleyas. And I'll show you why. Oh, the species Phalaenopsis, okay, they didn't do much, but I am discovering that ever since I switched them to the new setup, they're doing much better. They kind of hated the dryness of the clay pot, in my opinion. They absolutely didn't do well last year. Or actually they didn't die, they just didn't do much, but ever since I moved them, they have started growth, the roots do not die off anymore, don't get stains and all of that. You have the Cornus cervi with one bud there, so that's exciting. Alrighty, Cattleyas. This is an LED Cattleya my mom sent me, and she smells so nice. A little bit similar to Princess Jackie, but not identical. Very powerful, very nice. And what you see at the edges, we're gonna talk about it probably in a different video. I'm just gonna mention it. I think it's due to dry air or dryness in general. We had a dry kind of spell. Usually around here it's pretty humid, but last week it was hot and dry and windy. And I have this not only on this Cattleya, also on my Vanda Pachara Delight slightly. This is not the first time it's happening, especially on the Vanda Pachara in Romania 3 years ago. We had a dry spell at some point, or pretty high temperatures anyway, and I did get the same edges. So I don't consider this to be a virus or pests or anything, although it looks like thrips damage. It's not thrips. I don't have such thing in my collection, luckily, but I personally can only assume it's because of the dry air, heat and dryness. And here we have the Cordigeram bloom. She smells so nice. The Victoria Reginae, on which we will make an ID video. It's just so blue, isn't it? And of course the pretty Anosmum hybrid. Oh, he smells so incredibly fantastically good this year. Smells like Christmas to me. Orange peels and Christmas tree and memories and all of that. I'm in love with this guy right now. The cranberry fragrance is almost completely gone. It smells like orange peels more than anything else. And on top we have the Maxillaria tenuifolia, vanilla, seed pod, and my Hoyas, which are blooming. That one was in bloom as well, but she lost her flowers. No worries, we have more buds. This one is in kind of full bloom. And this is the Calycina, which I think I saved. The leaves have regained their posture in the sense that they're not dehydrated anymore. So what happened was the older roots did completely die off. So I cut the stem that is, I put hormone powder, pluck it in the soil, and there we go. She's starting growth once again. And here I have some new Hoyas, which I will show you in a different video. I just received them. Some of them have already started to grow. In the back we have the Paphs and the Chysis bractensis, which is done with his blooms. And down below we have the Miltoniopsis and Nellielers and some other stuff, but if you missed it, this is a shelf that I received for a review. You can check down below in the description the link to that video and learn more about the company and about this shelf. I didn't get to do much with it. I need to change the wood, I need to varnish the wood and all of that. I just had a few other things to attend to, but I need to do it pretty soon. And about the sponge orchid, we're gonna make a video on it pretty soon. It's not really working out, but I'll tell you why. Here, I have some Ikea purchases. So this is a stool that costs €3.50 here from Ikea, which serves as a really good stand for some orchids. I only have one at the moment, but if I ever get another tall one, she's gonna be here. This is the Amethystoglossum, which by the way has started to produce new growth, as you can see. And this is a really good place for it because it gets really bright light here, and also it offers quite a lot of space for it to extend and hopefully bloom next year as well. Here's my Ikea stand that you already know with the Cattleya orchids, but down below I purchased some Ikea tables, and these are Ikea tables that cost €5.50 or a little bit more here. And I have 4 of them. And as you can see, they serve the great purpose of actually holding orchids in the brightest area of my greenhouse. They're very cheap tables. They're not the highest quality, mind you. You need to be careful with not scratching them because this is paint actually, and it scratches really easily. But you know, for the greenhouse. And here we have the Vinegar apple blossom. Funny thing, as the flowers age, they turn a little bit more yellow, as you can see. But still, they are very gorgeous. They smell beautifully. This is truly a fantastic little cattleya, even for beginners. And in the Ikea stand, we also have the Dendrobium spectabile, which is growing a new growth that looks a lot bigger than the previous growths. So hopefully some blooms as well. The Vandas, you've seen them in previous videos as well. The Vanda Pachara Delight is in bloom. I didn't show this one to you. How pretty is that? The bloom count is kind of small, but considering this orchid did not have roots last year, you know, it's understandable. I'm happy she is all right. So some other cattleyas here. Oh, the Leopoldi. She created such a big cane, as you can see, but still no bloom, sadly. Maybe the next one. But look at that. That's what I call vigorousness. She's very happy. And here we have the Kirchara. She's finally in bloom. I think she will be in full bloom this month. Look at those colors. Isn't she the prettiest thing? And a little bonus, she is fragrant. Not excessively fragrant, but still it's better than nothing. So the catasetums are here. They're already getting very, very big, as you can see. And I really, truly do hope that the slow release fertilizer that I added this year will do the trick, and I'll get blooms from the black ones, which never bloomed for me. The Millennium Magic, which is there, and the Fred Clarkiera After Dark, which is here. And here we have the Dendrobium Phalaenopsis that are growing some new growths, and I do intend to keep them here. Here they do receive direct sunshine in the second part of the day, so hopefully they will bloom this year. Didn't have a rebloom from any of these guys yet, so I'm expecting one. And on this shelf we do have some more Phalaenopsis. Oh my, too many Phalaenopsis. This is the Phalaenopsis Tsuchiang Bomb. She didn't bloom this year. I left her in the care of my boyfriend and he took care of her. So now she's recovering. She's growing bigger and bigger leaves, but no blooms this year. This is a new addition. It's a discounted orchid. I paid €2 for it. Look at her blooms. Isn't she pretty? Really proud of this one. Nothing super interesting here, I have to say, except for this one. So this is the long-stemmed one that I purchased not long ago. She is still in a bad way, but she really wanted to bloom, so she created some flower spikes. As you can see, they're arching. So yeah, it might be a DTPS hybrid, but it has a Phalaenopsis in it. Otherwise, these flower spikes would not bend like this. So it does make the display that I like. But as you can see, we do have a few buds that have blasted. I think we will have a few buds that are developing. It looks very, very pretty, but it is a sick orchid. Still, it doesn't have mites or anything, I checked, so that's good. And I think pretty much that's it. And that's about it for the tour this month. Hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching. Down in the description you can find additional information about the new things that I added to the greenhouse. So check the description down below if you want to know about something. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for regular orchids and plants videos. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye!